OpenRA? Why are you doing a video on OpenRA, James? Surely everyone knows what OpenRA is, right? The project has been around for 10 years and isn't exactly unknown. One of my subscribers asked me to do a video about it, so here goes. For those who don't already know, OpenRA is an open source real-time strategy game engine written in C# for the specific purpose of modernizing and resurrecting old Westwood Studios titles, like Command & Conquer and Red Alert, the latter of which the project is named after. Petroglyph and Lemon Sky Studios recently remastered both these games to great applause. And after much worry from the community, it doesn't seem like EA is going to put a legal hurting on the project. But surely this remaster renders the community efforts obsolete, right? Well, as good as it is, the answer is no. Unlike a lot of open source engines, OpenRA isn't just about supporting 2 games and ignoring everything else. The likes of KKND, Swarm Assault, and even titles that never saw the light of day like Hard Vacuum have all benefited from OpenRA's engine giving them a new lease of life. So while OpenRA is always going to be synonymous with Red Alert and the Command & Conquer series, it's far more extensible than its name suggests, with an entire software development kit released by the team to encourage further mod creation from the community. There's even a Dune 2 mod in the works, even if its progression is about the same speed as a Paul Atreides revenge plot. Speaking of Arrakis, there's one other game worth discussing that runs on OpenRA, and it's the most prominent. Featured on the main page of the website alongside the Command & Conquer games is a mod for the ill-fated Dune 2000. Dune 2000 was published but not made by Westwood. It was developed instead by a British company called Intelligent Games. I had previously played Waterworld by them for my Random DOS game show, and had terrible cycle count issues. It wasn't a great game, even without that problem. However, the company had previously been contacted by Westwood to create expansions for their Command & Conquer series, and there was an unsuccessful attempt to acquire them entirely, so it's safe to consider Dune 2000 a sister title to Command & Conquer, and the studio who created it to be a decent developer. It was originally intended to be a remake of Westwood's own Dune 2, and the game mechanics and soundtrack are very similar, but the plot differs significantly, as do your mentats, who are now hamming it up in full motion video. Most notably, there's an appearance from famous actor John Rhys Davies as the Atreides mentat Nori Moneo. Despite being a decent RTS by the standards of the time, unfortunately Dune 2000 came out the same year as StarCraft. Talk about bad timing. So, getting back on topic, how does OpenRA help with all this? Well, firstly, it introduced a modernized control scheme, so right-click can be used, which is a godsend. Everything is balanced better and there's widescreen support, and it can now run on multiple platforms, including Linux. That's why they're at great pains to call Dune 2000 running on OpenRA a mod, rather than a remaster or remake. It has the missions and the fantastic Frank Klepacki soundtrack, and all the graphics are in the right place, but you're still playing OpenRA, which at this point I'd say is a superior gaming experience than when I tried to play the original Windows version of Dune 2000. What I wasn't pleased by is that only the Harkonnen campaign is complete, with the Atreides and Ordos missions terminating about midway through for some inexplicable reason. I had the same critique with OpenRA's Tiberian Dawn campaign. I believe this is largely because of a multiplayer focus of the engine, but are there really no completionists among this community? Only half the game is playable. Upon finishing mission goals, I also didn't see a way to progress to the next one, instead having to exit out each time and select the next mission from a list. Not ideal, but it's a minor complaint, and maybe I just didn't see how to do it. There were also some units that wandered slightly off the map. Again, a minor quibble when you stack it up against all the modern quality of life and unit control improvements that OpenRA brings to the table. Sure, Dune 2000 is never going to be regarded as a classic. It came a little too late in the day for that, and there are still some palette and unit issues that no amount of engine replacement will fix. But OpenRA brings it more in line with their modernized Command & Conquer vision, and it makes for a very enjoyable RTS experience. You'll soon forget the occasional issues, and the added creature comforts feel like they should have been part of the original by default. With the RTS genre largely dead in the water, and the last licensed Dune game appearing 20 years ago now, the result of this refurbished game is a very welcome return to Arrakis indeed. Give it a try.